Good morning. Good morning. Sharing my screen. So today I'm going to be talking to you about value ladders and funnels. If you have seen my content creation masterclass, I spoke then about how you can create top of funnel content. And the idea with a value ladder is one that you can structure your products and services so that you know what you can offer your clients. And the purpose of a funnel is to generate leads. So, leads being people who you can reach out to and contact to sell your products and services. A top of funnel post usually has a call to action like comment an emoji below in the comments and I'll reach out to you directly if you want X, Y, or Z. You can offer different parts of your value ladder. Most businesses have something free that they can offer. So you can use this in a top of funnel post to be like, hey, if you comment this emoji below, I'll send you my free, whatever it is that you've got that is a freebie. So value ladder, or also known as a sales ladder. So this is a tactic that you can use to help ease a customer to your final offer. Value ladders tend to start with something small and easy to sell, like a freebie, to build some initial trust and get the prospect interested in your brand. There are lots of ways where we can build brand awareness and trust with an audience, and most of those have to do with content and the way that you portray yourself to the external world. With a value ladder, it's likely that you will get most of your clients initially through your lower end offers or your freebies. Once you've kind of built that trust, and I always like to use the analogy of, let me just see if I can spotlight myself. Sorry, 2 seconds. Okay. I just want you to be able to see me when I do this analogy. So what I like to do is you essentially start off on this like level energetic playing field. And what you want to do is you want to add some value to your clients for a cost that they find is equal or less than the value that you add for them. So if you offer them a freebie, you might provide them with, X amount of value. But in exchange for that freebie, what you might ask for is their email address. So in this exchange, you're not asking for any money. You are simply asking for their email address. Once you have their email address, this is essentially like an owned way in which you can communicate with your audience. When you post content on rented platforms like Instagram and Facebook, you post content out there, and then depending on all these different things, the algorithm will choose who gets to see it. If you can have your ideal client's email address, what you can do is you can contact them directly when you have new offers, new programs, new events, new products, and specifically send it to them. So they're already kind of this like warm market that are interested in essentially like the products and services that you may offer. When you think of a freebie, we want the freebie to align with the other products and services that you do offer. We don't want you to offer, a free workout if you are a meditation teacher, because there are two different demographics, two different niches. So the idea that is with a value ladder, every product and service that you offer kind of fits into the niche that you've chose, which we spoke about last week. So who is your niche? What is their current situation? What is their desired situation? And how can you get them there? The freebie is one of the ways in which you can get them from A to B. Freebies quite often can be things like journal prompts. Journal prompts is a big one in the space that I work in. So a lot of reflection questions. With my niche, I always like to do some journal prompts that relate back to business. They might relate back to mindset, to your belief system, to limiting beliefs, just to create awareness of my ideal client in their current state. With the content creation masterclass, we spoke about ways in which we can move our ideal client from the current state to their desired state, because what can happen is they can get quite comfortable in sitting in the uncomfortable current situation, and they've got no motivation or no want or need or stimulus to make them get to their desired situation. So your freebie can be something that ignites that spark or starts that passion. Journal prompts. You might offer like recipes if you're looking at potential whole food advice or nutrition advice or things like that. You might have a few recipes that you can offer. If you sell a protein powder, or if you sell something that is an additive or supplement to a diet, you can look at recipes that may involve that supplement. We can look at ebooks. You can look at audio, so like a 5-minute meditation. And we can look at what other freebies that I've seen. It might be like certain tips or tricks for your niche. So might even be like different sentences or ideas, or motivational posts or quotes, or could be I've seen a lot of people do the affirmation cards. So you might send out affirmations that they can print out and play with each day or something like that. So the idea is that we can create something free that adds value to our niche, that motivates them to get from their current situation to their desired situation, where we can get their email address. Adding value for no monetary exchange, just their email address. So the energetics are tipping in favor of our ideal clients. Once we have added value here, we then can have an offer that sits around the $10 mark. So you add a little bit more value for now a little bit of money. So we want to add at least $10 worth of value for a $10 exchange, probably more in most instances, because what we're doing is building trust in these initial phases of relationship building with our ideal client. As we slowly work up our ladder, we then have something that is $27 to $47. If you like reading, you can read Russell Brunson's books. You can have a Google of him. He talks about the psychology behind selling and the prices in which a consumer is happy to spend at different points within your value ladder. So usually you've got something between the $7 to $9 mark, and then you've got something else that's between the $27 to the $47 mark. We can slowly keep moving up our value ladder, offer something that might be just under $100, and then we move our clients all the way up into our highest ticket offers. When we look at highest ticket offers, it's the most expensive thing that we have that we can offer our client. Quite often it is a one-on-one program, or it might be something really expensive in the product market. If you are a mixture of products and services, each step or each offering that you have might be a mixture of products and services up your value ladder. When I did a value ladder that was around manifestation, I had manifestation candles that sat between my $10 to I think $47 mark. And they had a crystal in them, citrine, that will help with manifestation. I also had journal prompts for manifestation, and I had a manifestation workbook that was my freebie. And then my highest ticket offer was my manifestation workshop. And so it was a 2-hour workshop where you come sit in a circle with me and all the other women that wanted to join. We go through the workbook, which was the freebie, but in amongst the workbook and the activities, what we also did was yin yoga and sound healing with crystal sound bowls. So I had a way to kind of guide my clients up to that highest ticket offer. But at the same time, there were a lot of people, because my highest ticket offer wasn't too expensive, it was capped at that just under $100 mark. What I was able to do at the end of the workshop, for anyone that bought this outright, I could then send them back down my value ladder and say, well, if you're still interested in practicing at home, you can buy these candles worth this amount of money. Or I recommend like thinking about your goals and what you're working towards, breaking them down into like your short-term and long-term goals. And quite often this can change as we change and grow through life. So what I would recommend is that they come back to my manifestation workshop after 6 months, or if they have a major life event that kind of threw them off the course that they thought they were going down. So there are just some examples of what you can do with your value ladder. So if we go back to like the coaching or program or working one-on-one with someone's space, and you've got that highest ticket offer up here. You've then got to think about your business structure and your time and how much money you are going to make from working one-on-one with someone compared to potentially a group program. So you might have a group program that sits lower than what your highest ticket item costs. So we're just going to round this out for the sake of today. But let's say your highest ticket offer is $1,000 and you've got a group program that's $500. In the group program, you can have, say, between 10 and 20 people join, whereas one-on-one, you're exchanging 1 hour of your time for 1 hour with that client. So say it's a 10-week program, $1,000, you make $100 an hour here. Whereas you might have a 5-week program with 10 people at $500 each, you'll be making more per hour with that group program. So when we start looking at how we're going to structure what we're going to sell and how we're going to use our value ladder and add value to our ideal clients, just keep that in mind. If you constantly sell one-on-one programs and you've got, say, 10 hours a week dedicated to work one-on-one with 10 different people, an hour each, think of setup time or content creation or whatever you've got to do to create the program. But that's your 10 hours capped out. Whereas if you've got a group program, you might speak to those 10 people in the 1 hour and you've got 9 hours of this extra time. So with these, just make sure that you've got, 1, how many hours you want to work, 2, how you can mostly add value, what your niche, what their price range is, what they're going to be looking at spending, and how you can start connecting with them and getting those email addresses to have that owned platform where you can contact them directly when you add something to your value ladder, or if you discount something in your value ladder, or when you want to run a new program, or when you want to start something new. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I can give here with rented and owned platforms and your value ladder is start by having a nice freebie that really attracts your niche, that they're going to want it for free, and you can add value. I'm just going to check here. So I can see Lyndall's on, and I'm just going to use an example here with hairdressing.
Hi. Sorry,
Hi.
I'm muting because of these ones.
That's okay. I'll just give an example here for you because I've spoken a lot about the coaching space. Whereas, so as a hairdresser, you're going to find that you've got this one-on-one space where you provide a service, but you are then capped out for time. So you might have one-on-one hairdressing here as your value ladder, and then you might have this, so instead of it being like a value ladder where you go up, it might be like a horizontal. So you've got your one-on-one hairdressing, and then you do an add-on. So you do their hair, and at the end of that, you say, would you like to leave with a shampoo and conditioner? So you've got your highest ticket offer, but you've got a value add by giving them something that they can take away and take home with them. And you can have multiple different offerings on each level. So if you had, like if I had my candle here, I could then get them all the way to the checkout and say, hey, so they've got their candle, they're working on their manifestation. And I could say, hey, for an extra $10, did you want to book a half an hour manifestation, whatever, with Kate or something like that? So you can have the value level and then you can add something to it as well before they check out, if that makes sense. So especially for product or service-based businesses where you're capped out for time, like in hairdressing. Does that make sense to everyone that's on the call? And do you have any questions specifically towards your niche or your existing value ladder at the moment?
No, yeah, I get that. So like for me, say for like my meditation and my like yoga and that, there's going to be more opportunity for them to come, even though it's not my high ticket price, like attending a class. But yeah, if they've had, for example, that freebie, they've had that, they've gone up the process.
Yeah, definitely. And so like that's the thing with group stuff. So you might have like your group class that's $20 for an hour or whatever per person. If you can fit 20 people in there, and you like, do you rent space or do you work for other people? Do you like freelance?
Yeah, freelance. So I just 20% is my rent of like what I make.
Okay. So, but yeah, okay. So what you do is, so if you get 20 people there at $20 each, there's $400. 20%, so $80.
Yeah.
You guys are testing my math skills this morning. So $80, you're taking home 320. So that's 320 for an hour class, right? But because you've got that space and you hold that for like transformation within that that hour for them, the things that you can add on, which I think you're already looking into, are like those events. So like a 2 to 3 hour intensive X, Y, or Z where they get multiple experiences, but it's slightly longer, might cost a little bit more, and it might take up like their Saturday or Sunday morning or something like that. So it's kind of moving up the chain, but in group work, rather than one-on-one space. I'm moving towards the group model as opposed to working one-on-one with people. And what I'm happy to, like, what I'm willing to do is kind of offer the content in a group space. And then if people don't understand the content, then catch up one-on-one afterwards, or open my calendar up for another space of time where you can submit questions that are specific to the content based on your product, service, X, Y, or Z. If that makes sense. I will be sending this worksheet out afterwards as well. So I'm going to run through the next little bit, which is some questions, and then also some blank space where you can kind of mind map and workshop this. What I will say is that you will get out of like these classes the amount of energy and effort that you put in. So if you go through and really think about these questions and fill them out properly, one, it's going to help you set up your business and your structure, but two, it's also going to help you when it comes to creating content around selling your products and services. So the next part of this is literally listing down everything that you currently offer. What products and services do you have to offer your existing clients? Once you can kind of see it all written down, you might be able to already fit it into this ladder. And if you can't, it might then make you think about what you can do to kind of fill in the gaps to help progress people up your value ladder. So if you had a freebie and then your next offer was $300, you might have difficulty moving your clients through if you don't already have like potentially testimonials or recommendations or references or recommendations. People just constantly bring you clients or sell your products and services for you, I suppose. But if you can have something where you can jump them up, it kind of helps a little bit. And the other thing as well, so like if you had a $300 group program, what you might do to bridge the gap is offer a masterclass for $10 that talks about high level what your group program is and how it can, essentially what it is and why it benefits your niche. And then you get into the how it benefits your niche in the group program. So a lot of the time we can have clients or, you know, potential clients get confused about what it exactly is that we offer and what it looks like. It's really hard to convey that amount of information in a post, in a carousel, in a reel. It's really hard to kind of give them that experience, especially if you also aren't comfortable yet with, you know, finding your branding voice or writing what's called copy, so the text for your scripts. If you're not sitting in that space that's comfortable, but you're able to talk like this in a masterclass, you're able to convey what it is you offer, who it is you offer it for, what it is. You can kind of get it out there like this. You can invite people to come. It might even be free. You could do a freebie that was a masterclass. And the idea is to get people in so that you can get their email address. You can talk to them like this. You can talk to them in your DMs or in your direct messages on other platforms. And you can just start building that connection, because the stronger the connection is with your audience, the easier and faster you'll be able to convert them into clients. So it's all about building that trust and that relationship. And the way you do that is by connecting with them, not by just constantly posting content to your socials. When I first started, I'll tell you a story. So just to convey this message a little bit clearer. When I first started, I thought the way that I would market what I offered is by just putting content out there and trusting that the right people would see it. There is a certain level of trust that you have to have when you have that you have to have when you have a small business, but there's also strategy. You need strategy behind bringing in new clients and connecting with them on a level where you can understand, one, if they even are your ideal client, what their pain points are, what their current situation is, and if they're getting to that desired situation that your products and services can offer. It is pointless trying to sell something to someone if they are not your ideal client. So let's say if I wanted to buy, a Honda Civic and I walked into Ferrari, everything's outside of my price range and it's not what I want to buy. I'm still in the market for a car, but what they're offering is not the right fit for me as a person. And so if they ask me what I call qualifying questions, which we'll get down to in a minute, they would know, one, what my price range is, two, that I was looking to buy a Honda Civic, and three, that we are not a good fit. So there's no point in constantly trying to sell a Ferrari to me when it's not what I want and it's not what I need. So what I did when I first started was just constantly put out content on my socials, trusting that people would come to me. They didn't. I then applied a strategy and started connecting with them better, working out what value I can add to them without the constant pressure of trying to sell my products and services. It's more about how I can impact their lives and help my ideal client. And what you'll find is that people will just progress up your value ladder. But it's the strategy that you put in place to move them from your freebie up to your higher ticketed offers. We've looked at this. So what bridges the gap between your ideal client's current situation and their desired situation? You can actually do this for each of your offers. What you should find though is that their current situation and their desired situation will be the same for each of your offers, and that what you're offering is just a different bridge between current and desired situation. But when you can brainstorm this, when you can really get into the nitty-gritty of what their current situation is, what the limiting beliefs are that they're telling themselves, what their motivation is to get to desired situation, if they even have motivation to move from their current situation to their desired situation, you can start being strategic about the content you put out there and who it's going to hit and who it's going to target. We want to make sure that the content that we're putting out is hitting our ideal audience or our niche, like we spoke about last week. It's important that we are specific in who it is that we're wanting to reach and who it is that we're wanting to target, because when we put content out there that's extremely vague and hits a large niche, it doesn't actually hit anyone. It's just white noise that then becomes part of the scrolling reel of life, going through socials constantly. So having a look at your offers, current situation, desired situation, workshopping this. If you did the exercise from last week, you will already have some of this already written out. And then it's just about building these threads between their current situation and their desired situation and what's going to pull them into this new reality to where they want to be. It's always good to look at what I said before, motivating factors for them to move. Are they intrinsic or are they external? Is it pressure from outside pushing down on them, making them think that they want to get to their desired situation, but in reality, that's not what they need? I'll use weight loss as a perfect example here. If their current situation is they want to lose 20 kilos or 10 kilos or whatever it is, and they want to get to desired situation, loss of 10 kilos, and then you start looking at their current situation and you find out that there are all these external pressures making them think that that's what they need to be accepted in society, or that's what they need, to find love, or that's what they need to X, Y, or Z. But then you find out that what they actually want is just to love their body as it is right now. And so it changes what you offer. What you need is more body positivity, self-love, different ways in which you can get them to move from A to B, but you've got to make them first realize what their actual motivating factors are for wanting to change. Is it internal within themselves, or is it this external motivation that's coming in as the pressure? So the more questions and more things that you can think of to brainstorm what this current situation is, the better you will be positioned to offer your client something that will help them get to where they want to go. So where they are, why they want to change, and is it true, or is it a story? Is it a limiting belief? Is it what's standing in their way currently? Like, why haven't they reached their desired situation? Do they actually need someone to help them get from A to B? I work with someone who is a celebrant, and so she works with people who are engaged, and what they want to be is married. So they literally can't get from their current situation to their desired situation without a celebrant. But it's about that experience that they want in the middle as well. You might have someone that does want to lose weight, and they've tried and tried and tried and tried, but they can't get to their desired situation. And what they need is support, accountability, your program, whatever this is, to bridge the gap. You might find someone that is in an emotional state in their current situation, and they want to be in a different emotional state over here. And so it's, what are the tools and practice, and how are you going to nurture them to get from A to B? Hairdressing, for example, current situation, my hair is blonde and I want to be brunette. They literally need a hair, or they don't need a hairdresser. Actually, they could do a home kit themselves. But then we look at all the reasons why they should go to a hairdresser as opposed to getting a home dye kit. So we can look at other ways in which they can get to their desired situation, but it may not be something that's long term. It may not be something that is beneficial to them or their health or their wellness. Rochelle, I might use you as a quick example for this one in terms of like emotional state A and emotional state B, because I'm going to assume and confirm here if I'm right or wrong, but a lot of what you offer is to get them from their current emotional state into a different emotional state.
Yeah.
So perfect. So what you might look at in that instance, what are the things that people use to change their emotions or to potentially numb their emotions? So in this instance, there could be things that could get them to feeling good, but it might be like alcohol. It might be, you know, all these bad practices and things that they do that don't actually help them move through the emotions or work through it. Mel, you might do a bit of this too with your meditation, but it's working out what they might be doing now to get them there and why that's not working. And that's a piece of content that you can talk about right there. Like, are you currently trying X, Y, and Z to get you here? Let me tell you below why that's wrong. Or like, it could be like, don't numb your emotions. Or have you been trying to move from, you know, this bad emotional state to desired state through X, Y, and Z? So through alcohol, medication, and maybe becoming really busy in your schedule, or filling your schedule with lots of things so that you're constantly busy so that you don't have to actually think about whatever the stimulus is for making you feel this current way. And then it's like, let me tell you why these are wrong misconceptions or why you shouldn't be doing it to get to here, and what you should be doing instead. And what you should be doing is probably going to be some of these things that you offer in your programs. So it should be this, 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 and this. I currently offer these 3 things in this program. Drop an emoji below if you'd like more information. Or I have a freebie that helps you move from A to B. Drop an emoji below and I'll contact you directly with my freebie. And so that's one way which you can, that's a top of funnel post. That is how you get that interaction with your ideal client. You're putting something out there that would hit them, that would land with them, that they would understand. And it's them coming to you because they're like, yep, this is where I fit. Once you've got their contact details, they've reached out to you, you can then move to your direct messages and say, hey, thank you for dropping an emoji to get my free training for this. I would love to know whatever your content was in your funnel, it's like, have you tried something previously to help you get to here? Or where are you at in your journey? This is when we ask them qualifying questions to see if they're our ideal client and if they're a good fit for one of our programs or one of the things that we offer within our value ladder. The idea here is that we can get to know who it is on the other side of the phone, who it is on their direct messages. We can start to understand their situation, where they're at, what they're doing, and then see if we can add value in some way, shape, or form to their life, to their ideal situation, to where they currently are and where they want to be. Because that's why we're all here in business, right? We've created something here to help people get from A to B. We want to make some sort of impact in their lives to help them. If we have a look at like mission statements and why we started business initially, like money is great and to be abundant and have a business that can help support our lifestyle, fantastic. But there is also this other intrinsic motivating factor of why we started business and why we want to help people get from A to B. So pull that out here when you're looking at trying to sell your products and services. So scrolling down, you can fill out this exercise. If you have problems with this, please let me know. We're now going to look at creating content around your offer, and this is to do with funnels. So when you market your offers to your clients, we want to make sure that we're promoting that desired situation and outcome. So we're promoting getting to B, this second situation. It's important to be clear about what you offer. So to be clear about what's within your value ladder. And I'll talk about ways in which you can do that in a minute. But it's not alone what's going to sell your offer. I see so many people with these amazing programs talk about that you've got like a 3-month coaching container with me. You can get Voxer support in between. You can also get my bonus manifestation guide, and I'll send you a candle and you'll get this, 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 and this. And I'll discount it for you today, 50% off, and then still not sell anything. Because my niche and my ideal clients, they're like, oh, that looks like a great offer. But who is it for? What's the desired situation you're going to get me to? What current situation do I need to be in to want to buy your offer? And this is the mistake a lot of people make when they promote their offers, is that they talk too much about what it is they're offering and not about what is the transformation that they're going to offer their client. So clients are going to be motivated to move from their current situation to their desired situation. And it's your job to create content that makes your client believe your offer is what is going to bridge the gap. So with a funnel or a sales funnel, the marketing term, it's our journey to get our client to purchase what our offer is. So I've spoken about top of funnel posts to generate leads. We've then got a middle section and a bottom section. I'll go through that quickly in this class, and I'll try to leave a little bit of time at the end for questions. So top, this is usually when you put out like a poll, a story, an interactive something that you can start to work out if your ideal client is following you and how you can add value to that. Instagram stories are a great way to create top of funnel lead generation. If you are struggling with your lead engagement with your stories, what I recommend you do is wait for your current stories to finish. Wait another 24 hours where you haven't got any stories, and then put your poll. So 24 hours after your last story runs out, put up a poll that has interactive questions. And they're going to be questions about, they're lighthearted things. They're not a commitment to buy. They don't look like a commitment to buy. So if I was promoting or selling journal prompts, my question wouldn't be, do you journal? Or do you, is self-reflection something that you use to get to X, Y, and Z? They need to be more lighthearted than that. They need to be high interacting, high engagement poll questions. So we don't want to put too much pressure on our client or make them think that once they answer a poll, they're going to have to purchase something. And the same thing when you are looking at a top of funnel post. we don't want them to comment an emoji to get more information for something that they're going to have to purchase. We want to know, we want to ask them qualifying questions. We want to give them value. This is about an energetic exchange where we give them more than they give us initially, because we're building this relationship. We don't just want to get their money. We want to help them move from A to B, and we need to show them that we can do that. We need to build that trust. So top of funnel posts, lighthearted, high interaction, high engagement. We want to make sure that we're getting lots of leads coming in our funnel. Once we move to the middle, this is about filtering through who is an ideal client and who isn't. So you might find by your top of funnel posts, you might offer a freebie, or you might offer something that attracts a larger audience than what your niche actually is. And this is where we've got that funnel shape where we can slowly filter through to the middle to work out if they're our ideal client. So top of funnel, I've got an example here, which you can click on at Instagram. And then we've got, so it's time to get your ideal audience engaging, content needing to be informative, educational, or entertaining. Most importantly, engaging. That's the biggest thing I want you to take away from there. It needs to focus on your audience's desired situation and prompt them to comment or like on your post or interact with your poll. Once you've done that, you can send them a direct message, and this is where we start to filter through to the middle of funnel. So we can either direct them onto a phone call, or we can just keep talking to them in the chats. This worksheet that I've created is specific for coaching. So if you've got a coaching program, and this example that I'm using is my example. So are you looking to grow your coaching business with Instagram? You will have different questions to get your clients to your middle of funnel, because your niche will have different qualifying questions to work with you. I like to get my leads onto a chat so that I can have a conversation with them, because it's much easier for me to have a conversation for 10 minutes than sit in my DMs for 3 days. You can choose how you want to work with people. You can just sit in your messages if you want to. For anyone that has an MLM, or is part of an MLM or like a marketing, I'm not going to say pyramid scheme, multi-level marketing, if they're in something like that, like doTERRA, Juice Plus, Young Living, what they will teach you in that is to just sit in your DMs. But if you find this overwhelming to try and maintain all of these conversations, try to go for a conversation where you can just talk to them. Once we have firstly identified that we can give them our freebie or whatever it is that they've interacted with, we can provide them with that. We can then have a look at our qualifying questions. So this is where you need to come up with some qualifying questions. We need to come up with at least 2 that qualifies them in your niche. These can be specific questions. So I've got some examples here. I've used my example of manifestation here. How long have you been into manifestation? And this is if they've interacted with a post that I've already spoken about manifestation. Here, if they're a business, I can ask them what niche they're in or what niche they work with. Quite often when I get this response, I'll then be able to identify if they need to niche down further, or if they might be having problems with creating content to attract that niche. They're already putting all their content out onto their page. I can go and look at that. That's public information. And then I can see what their interaction is and if they're struggling with that as well. I might be able to give them like my free content creation masterclass on how they can attract their niche. And that's something that I can give them that's quite easily free. It's me sitting in front of the camera talking for an hour about how they can create content to get more clients. If you, in this stage here, this is where you qualify them for being a good fit or a bad fit for your product or service, right? If they answer your questions and they don't fit into your niche, or if they answer your questions and they don't fit into a category of wanting to move to their desired situation, you might find that they are your ideal client. They are in the current situation of where you help clients move from, but they are, they're encapsulated by limiting beliefs, thinking that they don't need to change. And this is where you can just chat with them and be like, okay, loving and leaving you because you're not in a space that you're ready to move. You know that they follow you, you know that they interact with your content, and this is now your responsibility to create content to fire up that motivation to get them moving from their current situation to their desired situation. So that's where more responsibility as a business owner and content creator falls onto you to get them to move. It's like, what do you need to do to show them that it can be different? It doesn't have to be this way. They don't have to sit here forever, and that you're there when they're ready to move. They know what you offer. They know that you're able to help people in this current situation. And when they're ready to say, hey, you know what, I'm that person, because you've already had this conversation with them, you've added some value with a freebie, they're going to reach out to you because they know that you're the person that they can come back to. If you find that you hit roadblocks like this with people who are your ideal audience, like one, they may not fit into your group program because they don't have the money or they can't afford it. That's where you can move them just slightly up your value ladder. Say, hey, I know this is your current situation and that you really want to move, but you're unable to do that due to finances. You can say, hey, I've got this other thing that I think might be able to help you in the meantime. You can do things like that. You can offer payment plans. You can work around whatever their limitations are. You can do whatever feels right for you as a business owner. So qualifying questions that work out if your niche fits into what you offer, if they are who you help. And once you've done that, so at this point, we haven't sold anything. We haven't sold anything at this point in time. We move down to bottom of funnel. And so this is where I always recommend jumping on a call if it's a high ticketed offer. If this is something that's going to cost them thousands of dollars, jump on a call. If it's something that is, if it's under $100, you might just recommend that they look into it, or it might just be something you put in your DMs. If you recommend that they jump onto your $5,000 coaching package, you want to do it in a call. You want to make sure that they're 100% committed to doing your program. They're willing and able to, one, afford it, two, dedicate time to it and make that transformational change. You do not want to be selling a $5,000 coaching package if they are not in the headspace to work with you one-on-one. This not only affects you and your outcomes, but it doesn't benefit them. And that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to benefit our ideal client. We're here to help them get from their current situation to their ideal situation. So jump on a call, clarify where they're at, where they want to be. You can ask any clarifying questions around what you don't understand in terms of their niche, or in terms of their niche, in terms of where they're at and where they want to be. If there's something that you want to clarify, ask the questions then, and then see if they're motivated to get to their desired situation. Once you can kind of see that they would be a good fit for your program, you can then say, hey, okay, so now that we've clarified that, would you like to see what I have that I'm offering? And that's when you can talk about the nitty gritty of what it is you offer. You can talk about your, 1 hour a week you meet virtually. You can talk about your Voxer support. You can talk about your, free candle that you're going to send them. You can talk about, the journal prompts that you can send them as like an introductory package. And then you can say, if this all sounds great, the next steps would be to, one, I'll send an invoice or I will send a contract. And so once you've signed that and paid the invoice, I'll send you then my calendar link and you can start booking in your calls. So it's very clear as to what you offer and if they want to work with you, what their next steps are to work with you. And that's essentially how a funnel works. Does anyone have any questions about funnels or anything that I've just said then? Does it all make sense?
Yeah.
I know that there's a fair bit of content there today, and this is where you're going to have to kind of structure for you and your products and services what your funnel might look like, how you will get people in the top, how you will move them to the middle and bottom of funnel, and then sell your offer. The top of funnel will definitely help you get those conversations started. And I'm going to refer back to my content creation masterclass again, but there were questions there that related, or even the niching masterclass last week. There were questions there. If you didn't know what your client's current situation is or what their desired situation is, by getting those top of funnel posts out there and starting to interact with your audience, you'll start to better understand where they're at or where the majority of people are. It's okay to not have hit the mark, first off. I made the mistake in a few instances where I was creating my offers before I was speaking to my niche. So I had offers done and created, and then I was like, you know what I'm offering isn't getting my niche from A to B. It's what I think they want to get them from A to B. And the more conversations that you have, the more you'll realize where they're at and where they want to be and what their motivating factors are to getting there. This does take time to build relationships with your audience to get them to a point where they want to work with you, to build that trust. It's like any relationship. The more love and time you put into it, the better the outcomes will be. And then if you can structure your products and services, you kind of know where you can slot different clients in when you have conversations with them. Or you can, even if you have DMs with someone who hasn't been a top of funnel post, like you might just reach out to someone and say, you know what, hey, thanks for following me. You might start a conversation in your DMs just from a new follow, and then you might offer them a freebie. You might say, hey, I'd love to know a little bit more about you. Or you might start those qualifying questions to have that conversation, and then you can throw out your freebie. So top of funnel posts and top of funnel content is great, but then you've also got these other touch points, reaching out to people on Facebook when it's their birthday, reaching out to all of your new follows, reaching out to people on Instagram when you see them pop up if they're fitting within your niche. You might see a piece of content where you're like, hey, I'm going to reach out to this person because I think I could help them. And that is essentially the content of today's masterclass. If anyone watching the recording, if you need any help with any of this, or if you're unsure of your products and services, what you offer, or how to structure your own funnel, what I'll do when I send out this worksheet is I'll send out some additional questions about how you can create your own funnel. So how you can create top of funnel content to get them in, what you need to do in this middle section. So you can have a 10-minute call with them, add some value, give them a freebie, recommend that they, buy something in your middle of value ladder, or even qualify them out of not being your niche. How you then, I think I've established how you have that discovery call for your high ticketed offers. So current situation, desired situation, talking about what it is you offer and how it is you can get them there and what their next steps are, and then waiting for a yes or no if they want to work with you or if they need to think about it. What you can do at this bottom of funnel, if you have any discounts that you want to give them, you might say, if you sign up on this call with me today, I will give you X amount of dollars off. Or I will add 5 additional classes. Or if you're selling a group program, it might be, if you sign up today to my group program, I'll give you 3 one-on-one sessions for free, which is valued up to whatever. So you can look at ways in which you can sweeten the deal and get that commitment on the call. Sometimes people just need a little bit of a nudge in the right direction if they are sitting on the fence about investing in themselves. And you might find that their current situation, those limiting beliefs that come up here, might be the reason why they're not going to purchase your products and services. They might believe that what you offer is too much and that they're not willing to invest that much money in themselves to get them to their desired situation. You might find that they don't think that they're worthy of having this transformation. You can start to look at all these limiting beliefs and roadblocks as to why they would say no to your desired situation, and you can put things like that in your content. You can put like, are you not achieving your goals because you don't believe that you're worthy to achieve them? Keep reading, and then have a little bit of a discussion about it. Say that it's quite a common thing for people to believe that they're not worthy of moving from their current situation to their desired situation. They believe that they deserve to be in this current situation because they feel guilty, frustrated, anger, fear, whatever it is. They believe that they should stay here, and they don't believe that they deserve to be in this desired situation, or that they're worthy of feeling differently to how they currently feel. You can discuss that. You can then say, comment an emoji below if you like my journal prompts to help you move past limiting beliefs. Or comment below for a free 10-minute call where we talk about, limiting beliefs and what's holding you back, or whatever it is. Adding that value, top of funnel, how you can get them down. I love these calls. I always lose my train of thought. So the purpose of that was that there may be lots of reasons why they say no. And then by sweetening the deal with like a 50% off or whatever at this bottom of funnel down towards the end, it might be just what they need to commit. It might be just what they need to say yes to their desired situation. And I think there's a lot of limiting beliefs that come with money and paying for services that don't give you tangible results. Like, you might feel differently at the end of it, but you don't have like that product base. Like, you don't pay for something and you get something tangible out of it. So it's really hard to warrant spending thousands of dollars on something that's going to help change your mindset or develop your mindset. So you might do a post about that. How you move past spending money on something that doesn't give you a tangible result. Lots of content ideas. So you can kind of see how you kind of fill this out for your niche and your business. When you think about where they're currently at, there's so many things that we can put out there in terms of content. Do a 360 around their current situation, different perspectives, different pieces of value that you can offer. So Instagram and Facebook are ways in which you offer free value. So they're like freebies as well, but you get nothing in return. You then have a freebie that you can provide them where you get their email address, and then you slowly progress them up your value ladder. Okay, I'm going to press stop on the recording now. If you have any questions, please reach out and let me know. And I look forward to seeing you in our next masterclass, which will be Instagram optimization, like how to optimize your Instagram bio. And I will be doing some Instagram audits as well. So if you want to put your Instagram up for audit, please let me know. I currently have 2. I will take 2 more between now and next week. If I don't get 2, I will randomly pick 2 I find on the internet that are good examples to show you. And thanks for joining today.